was working at the time at a radio station in Peoria, Illinois, while finishing my studies at Bradley University. I would graduate from Bradley with honors in June of 1961. As I recall, the honors were magna cum laude. My connection with Riverside City College, as was mentioned a moment ago, dates back to the 1960s, when I broadcast RCC Tiger football games from that press box up there, and basketball games from Wheelock Gymnasium. I struck it lucky because that was a point in time in the mid-60s when RCC won 3 straight state junior college basketball championships. Never happened before, never happened since. The gym was packed to capacity for each and every game. And for the biggest games, they'd mount speakers outside of Wheelock Gym there, and several hundred, up to 1,000 fans and students would come there to listen to the game on radio because they couldn't get inside, and they'd stand outside and cheer and shout and yell for the Tigers. It was a big deal in town. We actually made a recording of highlights of the broadcast from those 3 championship seasons, and I cleverly called it 3 in a row. You could tell I was going places. Amazingly, we actually sold a few hundred copies of this little disc at the campus bookstore. I had my first hit record and my last. But it was such a special time in my life, and RCC will always be a big part of who I am. When I was in college in Bradley, in Peoria, in the late 1950s, I thought people in their 30s were old. People in their 40s, well, that was my parents. 50s, 60s was like grandparents. 70s, I am not sure I knew anybody 70 years old, much less 74. And I gotta think that your view of age is pretty much like mine was, even though that was a half century ago. So let me tell you something about being 74. I've had the same job for 34 years, still working hard. I've tried like crazy to not let time pass me by, and that's easier said than done. I'm an internet junkie. I'm all over Facebook and Twitter. I have a MacBook Air, an iPod, an iPhone. My life is organized on iCalendar. My memories on iPhoto. My music on iTunes. And everything, of course, is backed up on the iCloud. Ay, ay, ay. Somewhere along the way, Einstein came up with this theory of relativity. And to show you just how important it was, for those of you who have not studied it yet at RCC, it was the genesis for at least 3 major feature-length motion pictures. Back to the Future, Back to the Future 2, and Back to the Future 3. Until I saw the movies, I have to admit I didn't fully understand this theory of relativity thing. But I did fully understand another of Einstein's theories. He said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Now, that I get. I've known people with a world of knowledge who had no idea how to use it, harness it, or take advantage of it. You don't need to be top of your class at RCC this year to get ahead. I don't care if you're number 1 or, like me, magna cum laude. I do care if you have the imagination to do something with it. Just know, and it seems so simple, but it's not, life is all about choices. And hey, you'll make some bad ones along the way. It's okay. You'll have time to recover. Don't be afraid. Be bold. The only real failure is failing to try. Go get them, Tigers. Thank you very much. Congratulations and good luck.